Welcome everybody to the Caribbean Queen flight today in the Aerostar 601 pressurized, created and designed by Ted Smith in the 60s, brought into service into the 70s, and we're going to be flying a very familiar route from Key West in the south of Florida across a short hop to MUHA, also known as Havana International or Havana Airport, maybe not Havana International in Cuba. Of course, very famous. And today I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can actually make the landing and successfully land there. Last time, if you remember, we had some issues with the weather and we couldn't see, so I had to divert and continue on without landing to Miami. After that, we're going to be dropping, first of all, the family off there, so we've got a full load on the way there in the Aerostar. It's looking very gorgeous today, the most beautiful of planes, the most gorgeous of performances. A very slick jet-like GA plane, it really is. So Key West, we're out here on the general aviation ramp. So after we get to Havana, drop the family off, we'll be continuing on to final destination today, Cancún Airport. Estimated flight time is about 2 hours, but given how fast this plane goes, it's probably going to be a lot quicker. So we're going to do a quick pre-flight inspection. I'll do the pre-flight inspection and then we'll go through the flight plan and we'll talk through what the route is. It's basically just consisting of VORs today. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that shot. But yeah, just VORs on the destinations. So here we go, just a quick look around, just check the gear. All in good condition, I think. A little bit aged, a little bit worn here and there, and I have talked about the state of the undercarriage before, so probably does need a bit of a clean, to be fair. Propeller blades. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit cheaty. So we're going to move the propeller blades while I'm outside, which is a big no-no. Shouldn't touch them really like that, and twist them especially. Don't do that. Underneath, wings, lights, all looking very good. And of course, we've got a little bit of aileron movement there, which is what we want. Moving around, not much to see here. Pitot. Oh, we got birds in the area. Can the Aerostar handle a flock of birds? That's the question. Yeah, anyway, pitot tubes up there look clear. The fin is looking clear. The elevator seems to be free and correct. A bit like my control column, not quite secured to the desk correctly. Rudder control. So rudder control is not something you would splash about with. You wouldn't really throw that about. You just push it a tiny bit. If you get too aggressive with it, it can cause problems. So we don't want to be messing that up too much. Again, we did the same on this side. We're just going to check. Fuel cap there is secure. The undercarriage needs a clean, but we can't do much about it. Brake lines we'll have to assume are fully functional. Oil levels are good, so aileron on this side is also good. Now I'm doing the pre-flight inspection before the cockpit inspection. Just to keep things a little bit more interesting. Okay, here's our familiar pilot. We are going in the Aerostar 601 pressurized November 164 Hotel with a lovely blue interior. Let's get inside for the pre-flight inspection then. So, we're going to do a quick scan. I already know everything's off. This has persistent systems on it and it does actually work, which is very good. It also has circuit breakers. Some of them can pop out, so be aware. Some of these may be popped out if you've had a failure or something. Let's get our batteries on. Let's get all the lights we can get on. So strobes, beacons, navs, and landing lights. That's about it. We can't put anything else on. Gonna hop back out, just have a quick look at those. Not that clear. You have to get a little bit of distance from it. You can see that it's working on the left hand side. Nose gear and the sort of nose wheel, actually we should check that really with the landing gear. Everything down there looks good. Really good detail in there on the actual metal. And the lights as well, this design with them in the nose rather than on the gear is very, it's just very unique the way they designed it. Instead of putting the lights on the wings, which is kind of what most twin pistons do. You do have to get quite far back to see it. But they are functional. I can see the beacon at the top there. Let's just check this side. So all good there. And we'll check the rear end for the white light. There it is. So this is the white light. It is a kind of position light. We're going to hop in. In fact, we're going to get a weight and balance done. So I have, in fact, done some calculations. We're going to bring those up. Well, first of all, I want to turn the batteries and lights off. Let's do that. In fact, let's just check the flaps as well. One of the things about this plane which I find very odd is you can't actually do a flap check without putting the you have to put the engines on to check them, which I always find a little bit peculiar because you usually could check them without it. Bringing up the window now for the flights. Hopefully this will be of interest to you. So as usual, Ground CPT has a pre-selected route. We're using Skyvectors again. Very, very useful for these kind of routes. It's given us 1 hour 41. I'd say a little bit longer, just in case we have that rough weather in Havana. So again, 100 nautical miles there from Key West. Of course, a 208. We're going to be going first of all to the UHA, which is the sort of Havana VOR, I guess, the waypoint we're going to be going to. That will give us guidance towards the airport. When we're nearby, we'll just, intercept whatever we can and see what's available for the approaches. Then we'll continue on after that on the course of 251 when we depart. And we're going to be at 25,000 feet for the most of this flight, I think. To Cancun, and we've got the CUN there for the Cancun DME again, whatever this DME thing is. VOR, that's it. And then when we get there, we'll do the same procedures. We'll just figure out what the plan is for the arrival. We don't actually have charts. We do have charts for Key West. So for this flight, we're going to be ringing up the charts for Key West ground. And we're going to be keeping those nice and clear on the screen for us. So we're already parked at sort of GA ramp somewhere over here. So it's not going to be that far to go. It seems to be right next to the runway. So we're pretty good. And then we'll just determine our things based on windy. Going over to the notepad, as you can see, I've already calculated some fuel here. So 60 gallons is the trip fuel required. Then we've got 15 gallons for the reserve. That is a legal requirement. I've put VOR, if IFR flight plan now. Realistically, we need 45 minutes minimum, but I'm kind of flying VFR rather than IFR, so we're going to be taking 30 minutes. So that's what 30 minutes is. Plus, we've got 2.5 for the taxi, 5 for the climb fuel. So 2.5 is about 5 minutes of fuel. 5 gallons is obviously twice that amount for the climb. And the reason I put twice that in is because we've got a few climbs today and a few various places. So 82 gallons is the amount we need for the entire trip. 82.5. Let's go ahead and weight and balance ourselves. So you've probably already got enough in the tanks. We've got 32 in the centre of the fuselage. Yeah, so we've already got plenty of fuel in there, plus almost another 40. Should be on the safe side though, I am going to load it up. 40 on there, and then the same here, so 40 there roughly. A little bit more, maybe 40, maybe about there, that'll be fine. That is more than we need, but that's, better to take more than be sorry. We're going to be going fully loaded, so there's a whole family, plus the lady in the front is my unofficial inspector. She's doing a flight inspection with me. Baggage wise, right, so we need 10, 20, 35 kg, 35 kg, and we're within the tolerable limits here, the maximum take weight. It doesn't actually tell you, but as I mentioned on previous streams, the Aerostar Owners Association does have guidance material, and it does have training material, and it will tell you all the weight and balances and all the performance that you need. Today we're not going to use it. I don't want to use it today. We're just going to stick with the regular old checklist. Anyway, pre-flight inspection, I would consider that very briefly done it. Go ahead and get in. Welcoming everybody. Just make sure you keep your hands and feet in the plane at all times. Madam, you may want to put on some shoes. Pre-flight is completed. The seats are locked. The cabin door is closed and locked. Landing gear handle is in the down position. Brakes. We're going to do a quick brakes. Just pull them back on. Flight controls. Free and proper, but slightly loose. This may be the hardware I'm using. Because we can check this on either side. Just aileron up and down. Perfect. Switches are all off. Battery switch on. I'm going to turn the alternators on as well. And I'm going to turn the navigation lights. Then again, it is pretty bright outside. We probably don't need them at this time of the day. Bleed air. So we go down here. This is for the pressurization, 25,000 feet. So we can calculate. It says we need about 10,900 on the cabin. We're going to leave it 1,000 feet above ground level for now. When we climb in the air, we'll decrease it and then put it to 10,900. Safety valve, normal and dump. First of all, we get the door seal switch on and then we can do the normal and inflate. Elevator trim and neutral, and then when we set off, we're going to set 1 bar up as per the Owners Association recommendations. So let me get down. 3 grey lights, check. Hydraulic shut-off valve is open. Fuel quantity. We've definitely got enough. We've got 50 in the wings and we got about 40 there, so we're taking well more than the 80. We're taking about 90 gallons. Not too much more, but just, you know, just to be on the safe side. Low warning is out. All warning lights. Push to test. All illuminating. None of these will actually illuminate. I think the alternator ones are meant to illuminate before they're powered up, but there is no functionality there at all. So we'll do a few more checks actually. Let's check. Fire test. Differential pressure. 100 RPM. I think differential pressure should give us an oxygen required light as well, but I don't know how to get any of these to function. I'm assuming they're non-functional. Cabin rate set, clock is set, circuit breakers are all in. Starting engines, so prop controls are high RPM mixtures. Idle cut off, throttles. Correct limit ever so slightly. Battery switch is on, low board is out. Let's get the beacon on. And again, if you don't want the strobes on at the same time, you can pull this cheeky little thing down here, and that will actually turn the strobes off. So you can see there, no strobes and just the beacon is illuminating. Fuel selectors into the on position. It does say here fuel selectors on a crossfeed and then on. So in order to get an actual sound, you're better off putting the fuel boost on at the same time and then doing it. As you can hear there, that works. We need the fuel pumps on anyway to get the engine started. Right prop area is clear. Fuel boost pump is on. Starter switch. And when we advance the starter, we're going to do the mixtures fully rich. Okay, she's coming live. We're going to get that up to about 1,000 RPM. Let's go ahead and get our headsets on. Headsets are on. Let me just check the audio stream. Everything is good in the audio. If it is too quiet or if it gets too loud or quiet, just let me know and I'll adjust the volume as required. Hopefully you can still hear it. So yeah, minimum of 1,000. We're going to let that warm up and repeat to the left hand side. So we are clear on the left. And a semi-successful start. Just crank that to 1,000 again. Now, warm up is between 1,000 and 1,400, so it's up to you where you actually leave it. You could put it at 1,100 RPM and it would absolutely be fine. So, fuel bumps coming off. Gyro pressure is... well, hydraulic pressure is good. Gyro pressure is actually really, really high. This could be maybe because it's hot weather. It is fairly warm out here. It's kind of calm the conditions, so we'll see how that goes. Right, alternator switch. So all the alternators are on. Hydraulic pressure again between, it says 900 to 1,100. We're in that zone. Battery was already on. We should already have that on for the engines. Alternators were already on as well. Position lights on as well. Let's pop the strobes back in. So warm up at 1,400, 1,000 to 1,400, and what we're going to do is we're going to get the avionics on, and we're going to plan our routes. So as I've put up on the window for the Skyvectors, I do have the chart available for Key West here, and we've got some windy available if I need it. I'll use that to enter the flight plan in. It may not give us, actually it may not give us it won't give us the VOR, so I'll have to enter the frequencies myself, but that's fine. So what we're going to do, the frequency up here for the first waypoint in Havana Airport, 116.1. 6.1. Make that active. Then the second one at Cancun. We'll do it now before we go so we don't forget. Is it's coming up 113.6. Okay, this should hopefully work when we get within range of it. I'm going to set our course on the heading indicator now for the original airport. We'll check the heading for the next waypoint afterwards. When we go to Cancun final, it'll be a 251, but on the initial route, it's 208. Let's set that 208. About there, that'll be our heading after departure, and I'm going to use the X-plane map today to check the weather. I may as well, it's available, isn't it? It's there to use. We also have a VOR here in case we need to circle back. So there's birds in the vicinity we got to be cautious of. It looks like we're taking on runway 9. As you can see down here, we're on the we're actually in hangar parking, which is nice to see. But yeah, it looks like taxi route will be Alpha towards 09, and then we'll see how we go from there, and if there's any issues. We'll most likely have to just make back for Key West Airport, and if not, we'll continue on merrily to Havana and pray to God we can land if there's not too bad of weather out there, which there usually is. There usually is, I'm not going to lie, there's usually harsh weather. So fans coming on, let's get the cabin lights on. I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make in the cockpit. Some instrument lights. Let's go ahead and sit the cabin lights on because they can't do it themselves, so we'll do it for them. Stick it in the back for the kids as well. Luggage is secure, sort of, we can't really see it. Procedures, so we can do departures and arrival. Let's select departure, not available at Key West. Not available. Either way, we'll be taxiing to the right hand side, I think, and then probably backtracking for runway 09er. Just about ready to get going. I want to squawk my squawk code, so no ATC available. I'm going to pre-assign squawk code here of 6. I've already got a squawk code in there from my last flight. 6030. Let's get that onto mode Charlie for taxi. And that'll be our squawk code for the entire flight, all the way to Cancún Airport. Clear on the left, clear on the right. Everything's moving along smoothly. Brake check. Just going to do a quick rudder check on the ground because they've got overly sensitive rudders. So sometimes with hardware, I think the problem is that it doesn't actually activate as quickly as it should do. So you have to move it about a bit and just tell it it's actually plugged in, and then it'll register the sensitivity settings. So do that a few times. Same, not necessarily with the yoke, although it can happen with the yoke as well. So you may need to just do a quick flight control check, and yeah, that's immediately much better on the sensitivity. $25,000 feet is our cruise level. Because we're high up, we could get the performance numbers from the book. Actually, I might do that when we're in the air. Well, I think we'll be able to maintain a very high manifold pressure over 2000 on the manifold and probably about 2100 RPM, and then we're going to lean it for 30 gallons per hour and see if we can reach that number. Okay, so engines are warming up, the oil's coming up to the green zone, still under head temperatures warming up as well. We do a quick wind engine run up here at the side of the runway 9. Nice big area here to do such a thing. So 09 established. Thanks to Bravo on here. Again, a little bit of confliction there with what Explain says. It says Alpha explains map, and then you look outside and it'll say Bravo or something. Don't want to encroach on the runway, so we're going to hold there. We're going to have the checklist back up. So I already know it off by heart, but for the sake of you guys, I want to make sure you understand as well. So we all want to understand how to fly this beautiful plane. Throttles 1500, so we'll bring this up. We're going to exercise the props now, and we're going to do a feather check, and that will pump some hydraulic fluid through them. The old 60s design here, very much reliant on mechanical systems. So voltage down here on the lower right, that is pretty good. You can check both buses if you want to. So we've got about 20 in each on the amps, and the volts 25 each possibly. Same 30 altogether. That may be wrong. That may be wrong, to be fair. Okay, let's exercise them, bringing them back and bringing them all the way back to reaches 1000, and then put them full forward. Do that 3 or 4 times. You can see that the oil temperature is in fact warming up pretty quickly now compared to when we were taxiing. One more time. I mean, too many times can cause problems, but we know we can do that in this plane and it won't cause any issues whatsoever. Pre-departure briefing, I'm going to go with flaps in the 10 position today. I'm going to do the 1 bar up. We are fully loaded, so we're going to need it. Recommended setting, 1 bar up. Continue with the engine run-up test. So 1500. I've been doing a magneto check about 1900. On this one it says 1800, but I think the owners association is either 1900 or 2100. It's definitely not 1800 low that's recommended. We'll do what this checklist says though, because there's obviously differences in the engine's performance and things like that. There'll be differences in design. You think not, but there is. Left hand side first, so there we go. We're looking for that maximum 175, which is quite a lot on a mag check. Barely getting any drop there, that's a good thing. We do still want to notice the drop though. If you don't notice the drop, you've probably got some issues there which need to be dealt with too. We can't go into that detail in this flight, we're not exactly engineers on this one. We're pilots, so that's literally it. That's the mag check done already. Gyro pressure is still in the sort of range we need it. It is fluctuating a lot, it doesn't tend to stay still at all, but it is in the safe zone. Okay, cabin door, we're going to idle the throttles. Just keep an eye on the temperatures, and then we'll keep them at 1000. So cabin door closed and locked. Cabin seal is on inflated. Cabin altitude control. Pre-select cabin altitude. Full decrease. So we need 10,900 feet. Very hard to get it on full decrease on that. Mixtures are fully rich. Props need to be pulled a little bit back here for takeoff, unless we want to get an overspeed warning. So just pull them ever so slightly back. There is in fact a marker here, which I use as a reference, just where this little white line is. If you pull it back to there, you won't be able to get that warning when you take off, which is brilliant. Crossfeed light is out. Fuel pumps are coming on. Flight control checks. So ailerons, elevators. Rudder control. Up on the right, up on the left. Flaps 10 degrees has been set. Radios, we're going to squawk altitude. This thing should come alive when we need to get on course. So course here needs to be set to, well, it will come alive here if it's going to use that one. We'll be using that if it can detect it. I'm hoping it can. There's no switch here to change it from nav 1 to nav 2. Seats, pitot heat's coming on in advanced climb. So that's a lot. Everybody please remain seated. If there's any issues after takeoff, we will make that round for runway 09. Do not worry. But if by chance we do have an engine failure, guys, I'm going to crack the door and we'll land in the field if we can do, and then we'll get out. Don't worry about anything else though. It's your job to just get out quickly and calmly. Yeah, just bear that in mind, everybody. If we do have an engine failure on takeoff, we can probably make that round for runway 09 in this aircraft. There's enough power in it. But then again, it is also very unstable. We've read about those crashes last time and how unstable it is with one engine out. So it's also possible we might crash and we might have to crash straight ahead. That's just the reality. Throttle, so we're going to set maximum 29 inches for takeoff. After takeoff, we'll do the checklist, but I already know that off by heart, so we don't have to worry. Landing lights on. Parking brake released. Thing I have forgot to do is set 228 on here. Key West traffic, November 164 Hotel, departing runway 09 to the south. Very early morning here in Key West, about 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to take the whole runway here. It feels like a little bit of a short one. Just going to turn around and do a backtrack. Established, flap set, free controls, seatbelt sign secured, trim is set. The one thing we haven't done, guys, is set the GPS, but the reason is because we're going to be following the VOR, so we don't really need it. All we need to do is fly that heading and just put our trust in the instrument. So here we go, maximum 29 inches. Takeoff is set. Airspeed is live, 60. Rotate. Yeah, coming up. Flaps coming up. We only need to do a slight turn here and look at Key West scenery. It's really amazing down here, really well detailed. Lovely place. If anybody knows, Key West is also the location of Roadhouse. If anybody likes that film. Here we go, climbing like an absolute rocket, but we are climbing well, so we're going to do the climb checklist soon. Flaps are up, we can get the landing lights off at this point. Trying to pitch for between 120, I think it is, to 148. So we'll maintain that. We're going to maintain this heading. Actually, this is not the heading we need. We need the opposite direction, 208. So we'll keep turning around. And we'll adjust the heading bug when we're on course. Climbing like an absolute rocket, though. This is what the good weather does to planes like this. It just enhances performance so much. Not too warm, not too cold. I got G camera on. I have got G camera on, it's just so stable. So stable. There's 02, the course we need, I think, 208. hold that. And we'll just continue climbing this direction. I expect we'll pick up the DME, the VOR DME when we get a bit closer. As I say, we're going to put our trust in the instruments. We're going to trust that they're going to guide us in the right direction when they come alive eventually. We are climbing very well though, in the correct speed. So, I guess that's the key, guys. If you want to fly this to correct speeds, get it fully loaded. Anyway, chat list, we do have to reduce the RPM here to about 2400 on the climb. It says power 2500, but I have seen, it says it there, 2400. I have seen videos of it as well. Real people will also reduce it to 24 on the climb in real life. And the manifold pressure, we want to keep that in the green zone as well. So 117 to 148 and boost pumps is required. We're going to turn those off. Next checklist is, this is climb pressurized, so we are in fact meant to set cabin altitude after passing 5,000 feet. Let's go ahead and do that and make sure our altitude is increasing. So we've set the altitude we need. Let's increase the cabin by about 500 feet a minute. DME is coming up now, so 97 nautical miles. And it's probably going to be quicker than 30 minutes because we're going like an absolute rocket. And we'll continue this climb to 250. Now, if you're wondering why I've not set the pressure today, everybody, it's because, you know, that is a requirement when you're flying with other planes, but I know there's going to be no traffic in the area. There's also no ATC to give us the QNH. We could just leave it on standard pressure the entire time. If we're going to be controlled airspace and there's going to be other aircraft, then of course we want to put the QNH. It is important to see the altitude of the airport as well. But you know, if we're flying visual conditions like we are now, it's not as useful as people think it is. You know, it's mostly for IFR. It's for every time, but mostly IFR. It's when it's mostly important. Cool. Let's get the heading mode on, and we're going to do a little bit of autopilot. So autopilot master on. Heading bug. Let's see if it works. Last time we had a bit of a glitch with the heading bug. Didn't want to turn in the right direction, but today seems to be functional again. So head in, altitude mode, hold, and we're just going to continue climbing this rate of climb here to our cruise level. And keep checking the instruments. So we might want to bring the manifold down just ever so slightly. And the fuel, we can lean that. Probably lean that when we're a little bit higher up. A gorgeous, unique plane. This I've fallen in love with it. It's so lovely to handle, and it handles like a dream. There's no yaw damper though. Again, there's very strange designs here by Ted Smith Company from the 60s. I understand this was back when we didn't really have advanced technology for the aircraft, so we didn't really have things like advanced guidance systems that we have today. We did and we didn't. You know, it's certainly come a long way since then. Like they wouldn't have had this GPS in there when it was made in the 60s. It wouldn't have even existed back then. We would have had to use their instruments and things like that. And the yaw damper, again, not in there for the design, but later on they started to include yaw dampers in planes. I'm not sure if this is just exclusive to Aerostar or if it's just something, you know, I found on the Baron the yaw damper there are very useful, and other twin pistons, but in general, it's a design thing, isn't it? Okay, 14,000, climbing like a rocket. The cabin is increasing now, a bit too much. Let's just decrease that. Maybe because we reduced the manifold pressure a bit too much. That could also be to match our climb rate. To be fair, we're climbing pretty quickly. Let's keep that on standard for now. Okay, on the course of 208, I don't know what the arrival will be. We've only had charts for Key West Airport. I didn't actually need it in the end. The taxi there was fairly simple. So 09er. It does say Alpha on the chart, to be fair, so X-Plane probably do need to update that. I've noticed that a few fields now and a few airports where the map will say one thing and then the actual airport physical details will say another. So it said Alpha on the map. It's saying Alpha on this map, but then physically on the signs it says Bravo. So I think that's something they need to get on with fixing, to be fair. Very smooth departure though. I will be flying back to Key West in the future. So this is a nice little route here. We're not going all the way from Miami today. It's a bit too crowded. Besides, Key West is a little bit nicer, isn't it? But I want to do some more of these routes. Cancun, a little bit out of the way. This is still the Caribbean area. We'll probably continue on from Cancun next time, and we'll continue on down to South America or something. Probably down to Colombia. Cabin heat on. Let's keep our packs warm. And we probably could use these things. This is more for the windows and the sort of airframe defrost de-icing systems. Even though it says it's not suitable for icing conditions, the aircraft actually is, because it's got these boots on the wings. I don't know what's going on there with the graphics. I don't know if that's ice or something building up. But it says on the actual web, this aircraft's manual, that is not suitable for it, but then you look on the design and it's got the boots. As I said, that will make it ice protection worthy. It means you can fly, not in ice conditions, but it means you can defrost at least and de-ice. And that's why they got these in now. That must have been an upgrade by the developer, because there's definitely nothing there. In the real one anyway, you would have boots on it, you would have real de-icing systems, so you don't have to worry about a bit of mild rain here and there. Alright guys, we're speeding through 22,000 feet. Our cylinders are rocking their speed and their temperatures and the RPM, so we're going to bring it back to 2100. Just slow down this climb a little bit. Yeah, 2100 RPM, and then hopefully lead it for 15 gallons. It's already getting to 15 gallons already, and I've not even leaned it. But this is a strange one, so you notice there's a magic here. We reduce it, and for some reason it will increase the fuel flow. That's very odd. That's very, very odd. Because that would burn, that's almost 50 gallons an hour there getting burned. You have to keep them fully rich in order to burn the fuel burn that you actually need. It's so bizarre. Anyway, 1500 feet. Again, just slowing that climb a little bit more now. We're looking at 200. I put 256 on the cruise speed, but this thing is always too fast. Like, unrealistically. So if we look at the map here, 280 knots true. In the cockpit, it's saying 270. Even though we've got a 50 knot crosswind. Again, just slow the ascent. Pretty common feature actually for pilots to do that. You wouldn't technically get to altitude and press altitude. You'd have to slow down before you get there and reduce your ascent rate. Reduce the ascent rate. And in powerful jets, things like the Citation X, you would also do the same thing. You would reduce your climb rate. You would also reduce your power before you got there in advance, which is kind of what we've been doing today. So I don't know what the minimum manifold is at this altitude, but we're going to maintain 25,000. The pressurization is sort of semi-stable now, or at least it should be. Let's reduce those props back to 2100. Okay, bringing them way back. Now, I want to try and lean it. It's saying 11, 10, 20 gallons per hour. So if we pull them back, it's just increasing the amount of fuel flow. That's absolutely bizarre. The logic on that is inverted. But either way, that's the cruise settings we're going to leave, and it's giving us 300 knots. Completely unrealistic, but it is what it is. 60 nautical miles, 12 minutes, an absolute rocket this plane is. It, like I say, very short trip, and I'm going to get myself a drink. I'll see you in a minute. Let's go through the weather conditions on arrival. Could use Chartfox here for the charts. Let's hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. So MUHA 024, and I have got the conversion charts in the cockpit with me. We got a ILS category 1 there, 06. Considering we took over runway 09, we may be able to land on 06. No charts available. We'll make do with the information we got then for runway 06, 11050, and the course is 60. We can also check the X-plane map here to get an idea of the winds. So we're better off landing on runway 24. We could just go straight in for runway 24. We may as well get descending then. We're going to bring the props back. I haven't been doing the cruise chat list because I already sort of know it off by heart, but as you can see there, we set everything as required. Descent, so fuel selectors are on power. We're going to reduce that power now to get our descent rate. Be careful not to reduce it too much because for some reason it keeps causing the cabin to increase its pressure. We're going to go attitude and then we want to start descending already, so it's as quick as that, guys. From Key West to Havana, it's super fast. We're going to set the cabin altitude rate to about 1,000 feet. And we should be able to continue with our speed. So as you can see, I've only used the propellers there to slow us down and allow our descent. Maybe the manifold a little bit. Runway 24. Let's use the GPS. It will show the airport on it. So MUHA. There's no ILS as we can see, so we may as well go for the option of the visual approach. It's looking very, very clear. A lot better than last time. MUHA, and then we want to check the procedures, so approach. Okay, VDM and RNAV GPS. This is the RNAV approach now for runway 24. It looks like it's just straight in, to be honest, from this point on. So we might as well just keep on course and just keep going this direction. We'll descend a little bit quicker though, and we'll bring the power back gradually as we get lower. This really is a quick run, isn't it? I mean, it really is. It's taken us, what, 20-30 minutes to get here? For the absolute most? That's insane. I didn't go through Grantham's like pre-flight briefing on the pre-flight briefing sheet today, but we sort of talked through it with rather than showing you. But you get the general gist. You know, we check the aircraft type, ATIS information, weather, NOTAMs, fuel and payload, departure briefing, taxi route, takeoff configuration. The unexpected issues today was the possibility of bad weather. You know, it's like over here at the sort of southeast of North America. It gets really, really rough if there's tropical storms and things. And Havana in particular can be receiving end of a lot of that. But yeah, pretty smooth and quick flight. This distance, this is nothing for the Aerostar. It really isn't. This is a family day out for the Aerostar. We're about to intercept this pink line, the magenta line, and that will be final then for runway 24. How far have we got? So we got about 20 miles. I think we could probably get down in time. We can calculate a descent rate if we need to. Even giving the DTK there. Let's turn our course then to 24. Speed is slowing down now, brilliant. Havana traffic, November 164 Hotel is descending 18,000 feet, expecting RNAV approach, runway 24. Let me know, everyone, are you a big fan of this aircraft? It is actually quite enjoyable to be in. As you've seen in my review, I mentioned it was really, really fun to hand fly it. And it is, it feels extremely responsive. Extremely responsive. It's probably, I mean, the Baron is probably my favourite twin, but this thing is nimble as well. It's not just responsive. It can get in and out of small airfields. Unlike the Baron, it's got a short performance on it. We keep adjusting our course here. How's pressurization? So pressurization is pretty good. Let's reduce our manifold a bit more. See if we can reduce that down to about there. Let's rich in the mixtures slightly. Those up to fully rich. $16,000 feet. What's the altitude of the airport? So QNH, I'm going to try and get the QNH. We may have to do a little bit of a circle, but that's fine. So it's 1024. It's surprising they don't use the American equivalent here, because this is, you know, right next to North America. They're still using the European standard. I have the conversion tables downloaded conveniently in the cockpit, so this doesn't come with it. This is just something I did. It's saying it's about 3023. Let's go ahead and put that in. 3023. We're going to do a circle round. We're going to do the old Grand Tour CBT. I guess it's a procedure turn in a sense. We're just not going to do it directly over the airport though. And that'll give us time to descend a little bit more and get us at least aligned on track with the runway. Bring that back up to 2100. We're going a bit too low on there for a bit too long, so we want to keep that power in there at least. All the temperatures are looking good. The fuel pressure is looking very good. The hydraulic pressure again, all very functional. Air conditioning is on high, which is ideal. We could probably turn the pitot heaters off at this point. It's clear as hell. We don't have any icing conditions to worry about. Trying to descend a little bit quicker here. We can stick our landing lights, more landing lights on when we're below a 10,000. But in a GA plane like this, guys, you could probably put them on. There's no, so the airliners are the ones that will need to do it at 10,000 feet. That's what the airliners do. But GA aircraft are different, so we can stick them on when we're right on downwind if we wanted to, or on final. Keep turning now. We're going to turn back to runway 24. We should be able to descend. So we'll go 10,000 feet. Not very long there to get to altitude of the airport, which is about 200 feet. And there's the VOR that we've been tuned into the whole time. So that is in fact what that arrow there is pointing. Okay. Props to about 2300. So before landing, the seatbelts are fastened, the boost pumps are coming on. The mixtures are fully rich, the fuel fuel selectors are on as well. Not got anything on crossfeed. Landing gear won't come down just at the moment. We're still in the process of slowing down, but we've checked the brakes. Brake pressure is good. Hydraulic pressure is also in the green. Flaps. So it says 20 degrees below 175. I always find this too fast because if you look at the recommendation here, the white arc is for the flaps. Plus we're fully loaded, so we probably do need to adhere to that today. I'm going to keep power about 2300, then as we slow down I'll increase it to fully rich, full forward on the props. And then final speed is around 100 as expected. You should be getting visual of the runway any second now. There it is, I can already see it. So we can probably take control of the aircraft and just continue to fly it ourselves. So what's the pilot coming off? Double check the pressurization, so it is in fact depressurizing nice and well. We're going to slow down a little bit more. Landing lights coming on. Still very high up, we do need to lose about 5,000, 6,000 feet. This will be a flaps full approach, a flaps full landing. Havana traffic, November 164, Hotel, inbound to land, runway 24. You can see they're landing like an absolute rocket. I'm having to keep a lot of left aileron in. I'm not sure what that is, if there's an issue with the actual airplane itself, or if that's a natural thing with the Aerostar, but aileron trim is about neutral. Probably do need to have to calibrate this thing again. Okay, we should be slowing right down now. We're going to drop another notch of flaps soon. We'll be able to drop our gear as well. Looking pretty good. Speed is dropping rapidly. We're going to drop a notch of flaps. Give it a little bit of speed in there, maybe about 15 inches. Here coming down. 20 degrees of flaps. So as you can see that we transitioned very quickly from the descent there into the approach mode. And that's the thing I love about this plane, is you do have to be pretty quick to do that sort of stuff. You've got to be ahead of the plane, otherwise it'll get ahead of you very, very quickly. And you'll find that you're actually at the runway in no time. Havana traffic, November 164, Hotel is final runway 24. Okay, we're going to bring our speed back a little bit. Again, just increasing the propellers to full forward gradually as we lose that power, as we slow down. Another notch of flaps. So we are getting the pappy lights. Thank God we've been able to land today. It really has been a little bit of a sweat on my end, I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting for this adventure for a while. Feet to go. Semi-stabilized in the approach. Let's go go full flaps. So we're getting to 100 knots now, about 110, which is what we need for landing. Okay, we're down. Nice smooth touchdown there, no squeak at the end. Yeah, it's a good one when there's no sound. Apply our brakes. Take the next turn off. Landing lights can come off. Gonna keep the beacons and strobes on because they're tied together. Again, we haven't needed the navigation lights. They really are only for night flight, everybody, so there's no obligation to use them in the daytime. A little bit different for the airliners, of course, but airliners are a little bit of an exception to most rules, to be fair. Okay, here we are. We're going to hold before we get back on the taxiway and just take a look at our chat list. So, final approach was good, nice smooth touchdown, prop controls, we can put them full forward now on the ground. Flaps can come up. So we can't see them from here, we might be able to see them from the PAX window. They are very, very slow retracting and extending, and the same with the landing gear, which is very realistic. It is realistic. Fan and cabin heat can come off. We'll keep Mode Charlie on the squawk. Pitot is off. Autopilot master off. Fuel boost can come off. Depressurized as expected. The cabin door seal is no longer illuminated. Oh, it's no longer sealed for some reason. Oh well, we need it unsealed. So that's the after landing checklist. It says strobe lights off. Now, if we turn them off, we turn the beacon off at the same time. So I think the developer needs to do more research into aircraft and how they work and function, because their basic understanding of things is well off. And we're not going to do the checklist from now on, guys. We've done a checklist flight here to Havana, but I do know it, so there's no need to do it all the way there. So it's just a case of me following procedures but not telling you what, not showing you what it is. Anyway, we're going to taxi here to parking. Flaps are retracted. I'm not 100% sure where to park in this. This is just general airliners, isn't it? We probably needed GA parking at the other side. I think this will be fine though, if we can just sneak down here. It is a terminal, but we are dropping off for family after all, so. Plus it's the Aerostar, I mean, look at that. 60s icon. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect parking over here. We're going to do a quick drop off. We're going to drop the packs off and let them get some stuff. We're going to leave them here. This only person that's going to be going with me to Cancun is this lady. So I don't actually know who she is. She's meant to be doing a flight inspection with me and just monitoring things and make sure the Aerostar is fit to fly. So far so good. No complaints on her end. It's going parking space free. We're not an airliner today, but we'll do it. So the family will get dropped off. The lady's going to accompany me to final destination Cancun, where we'll drop off the supplies we picked up here in Havana, Cuba. So what we're going to do is do a quick shutdown. We'll keep the engines In this one, apparently you're meant to idle the throttles according to the checklist and then wait for it to cool down before you turn them off. It is already cooled, so let's go ahead and do that. Lovely animations. So we left the radio master on again. It doesn't make a difference in this plane. You could leave it on and it would make the single difference to the systems. We can turn the strobes off at this point, and the batteries and the alternators. We want to turn this transponder off as well. Right, Key West to Havana. It went very smoothly. We're going to take a quick break after the replay, and then we'll come back for the final destination. So now it's a good time to get the teas, coffees, snacks, and then we'll continue. Very good landing though, very good. And I'll see you in 5 minutes, guys. See you soon. I hope you all enjoyed that song. That was really, really pleasant. Anyway, I'm going to continue on now to final Cancun in sort of borderline middle America, I guess. Pushing on South America. I'm kind of in the mood to just continue flying this aircraft all day at this point. That's kind of the mood I get in when I get in the Aerostar. It is one of those kind of planes. So, we haven't actually unloaded the packs. How embarrassing. Anyway, we're going to get in. We're going to get the weight and balance sorted. So, we checked how much fuel we burned actually. Let's get rid of all the family. And again, the lady in the front will be escorting me and accompanying me to Cancun. She wants to make sure the merch is good. So we checked the cargo. We got about... oh, we shouldn't have done that. What have I done? We shouldn't have reduced that. So we've got about 55, 56 kilos on board. About that much. So quite a lot of cargo. In terms of fuel burn, we've burned... We had about 25 in the wings, didn't we? So... about 10 gallons, 20 gallons has been burned altogether. We had a trip fuel of 82, or well, the total fuel we calculated at the beginning, or I pre-calculated it. So that's correct, I think. Fuel burn. Then we'll just see how much we got when we get there. Anyway, aircraft's going to come back alive. This is fairly simple. Strobes and beacons coming on. Let's just put our flight plan in. So we are going to be following the second course. Now of 251 to Cancun, and we've got the Cancun DME VOR thing. We have already tuned 113.6 in, so we just have to follow that again and wait to pick it up. This is a little bit longer than it was from Key West to Havana. About 174 nautical miles more, but as I say, the Aerostar is an absolute rocket, so we'll do it in no time. We will be going back up to 25,000. So we need 251 on the course. That's all I'm looking for really, is 251. We'll put that on the course down here. So actually we could take off from runway 24 and then just turn out slightly to the right hand side, and that'll be the correct direction. Flight plan, we can clear this, I think. And then put the final destination. What's coming up there? Right, well, we'll skip that. Let's get the engine started, guys. So I'm going to do it a bit different this time. So I'm not going to do the fuel pumps on. I just want to see if it'll start the engines without them. I'm pretty sure it will. So we're already ready to start up. We're going to do a clear on the left-hand side, the right-hand side first. No fuel pumps, and we'll see if it comes alive. Okay, that was pretty quick. It came alive very, very quickly. So I guess you don't need the fuel pumps. The realism on this thing is just not there. You know, you can fly it as ridiculously as you want to, and it will always be fine. Headsets coming back on. Reconnect to the servers. Make sure the sound of the stream is good for you. And we'll go for clear on the left. Bring it up to 1,000. 1,000. Again, the radio's on. I would usually be concerned about this, but because it's not a very well made designed aircraft by whoever made it and programmed it, you can, like to say, be reckless with it, and it will be absolutely fine. Nothing bad will happen. This one is tuned into nav 1, but we want it on nav 2. Now, when I've tried to tune it onto the ADF, it won't tell you anything. Again, there's many things in this that work properly, so we're going to tune it onto nav 1 to guarantee that we can pick it up. So 113. 6. Transponder to Charlie. Now, taxi route will be back to 24. We've gone a little bit of a strange route. Again, I'm not too familiar with the airport, so I'm assuming GA aircraft is this GA? I think it's just down here on Kilo, isn't it? Or even further on Bravo. Either way, it's a taxiway Delta and then Alpha to 0. Excuse me, Delta and then Alpha to 24. Havana traffic, November 164, hotel, taxiing runway 24 via Delta, Alpha, holding short 24. Now we could do something different. We could have gone Alpha and then Golf and then circled round. I mean, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Either way, we're ready to go. I hope you're locked in and strapped in for the flight. Do a quick flight control check. Everything's looking good on the wings. There's no obvious engine damage at this time. Parking brakes released. We're going to do a flaps 10 again for takeoff and keep it 1 bar up on the trim. Brakes are good. Hydraulic pressure's in the green. Notice that the fuel pressure is dropped actually because we're idling the engines. Cylinder head temperatures. As I say, the design in this is different. So because if you watch the review, you'll see we went under the engines and the actual exhaust are always exposed to the outside air temperatures. So there's differences there. There's no need to control the cowl flaps, which is what would control the cylinder head temperatures. So in this case, it's just always exposed to the outside air temperatures, and there's also risks of contamination. Fuel pressure dropped because it was idle. We want to keep it in the green. I'm going to try and lean again in the cruise for about 15 gallons in each wing per hour, so maybe about 30 an hour. Cabin altitude, so we set full increase and then the altitude to 10,900, I think it is. Leave it at 1,000 for now, and then we'll set that on departure at 5,000 feet. There's an exhaust I'm talking about, so we can almost see it. You can almost see it underneath. Just there, so they're both exposed to the outside. Now, obviously you want to check they're secure in place. You can actually grab them and shake them a little bit. They won't move, or they shouldn't move, according to the inspection video I saw. Tyre movement's looking very crisp. It's just this landing gear I'm concerned about. This is very, very rotten and rusted. It does need maintaining and changing. But in general, the animations here are very good on the props and the wheels and things, and the hydraulics. You can see those sort of bouncing up and down on the landing gear. Okay, there's Terminal 2 on the left-hand side. The wind changed direction since we landed. Seems like it may have changed directions a little bit. I'm sure we'll be fine taking off at runway 24 anyway. We are going to do a quick run-up check. We're not going to do the full thing. We'll just do a quick feather check at 1500 and then we'll do a quick mag check at 18. Not the whole thing again. If you are just joining, we're about to depart from Havana International to Cancún. First time flying there. Never flown to that airport before. This scenery here though is very, very good at Havana. If you look over there, this looks like all custom scenery, but then again X-Plane do the airports pretty well in a lot of places. That looks very good, doesn't it? And there's a little bit of an area here as well we can do a potential run-up. Look at that. Gorgeous. 1500 on the RPM. Let's just check the feathering action of the props. Good on the left hand side. Good on the right hand side. Just wait for that to stabilise and then up to 1800. Left hand side first, left magneto. And right magneto. A little bit of a bigger drop there than the first section of the flight. Part of this inspection, you know, the ladies on board to inspect it and just make sure it's suitable for these sort of higher temperatures. Excuse me, because we're operating high temperatures, so we've got to consider the oil viscosity as well. We've got to consider, you know, the impact of that on the performance of the plane, and it will have an effect on the performance. Usually planes are better performance in colder weather, and then hot weather they would require more power and things like that. Let's get our transponder onto altitude. We are going up to 25,000. I will set this to the altitude we need when we're about 5,000 in the air. Cabin seal should be, door seal should be secure and inflated. One pitch up or one notch up on the trim. 10 degrees of flaps. Flight control check. Yeah, elevators, ailerons and rudder. Just in case one of the ailerons decided to break when we were on the stopover. Anyway, engine run up is good. Nothing to be concerned about. The hydraulic pressure is good there, and we're going to pull those props back again to that little white marker that I pointed out before, just where the P is, and that should give you the right percentage on takeoff. 29 inches, 0.5 maximum. Havana international traffic. November 164 Hotel, departing runway 24 to the southwest. Landing lights on, transponder, flaps are set, trim is set, flight controls free and correct. Nice long runway here at Havana. We love to see it. There's 80. Rotate. Very fast departure there. It comes a little bit scary after a while. Anyway, positive rate, we get the gear up. We're going to maintain our pitch for now until we get to about 1,000 feet. 1,200 feet on the altimeter. Quick glance over the temps. T's and P's are good. Fuel pressure is good. Let's get the flaps up. Going to pitch for 117 to 148 on the speed. We only need to do a very slight and right hand turn here to get on course with Cancún, and then we can get climbing up to 250. Let's reduce the propellers to 2400 RPM. Off. And we're away. Lovely green spaces out here in Havana. Completely different topography and layout to Key West as we saw on departure. Key West was very, very nice. I did like it. I did like the terrain there and the topography. But out here it's just a lot more luscious. This looks very different to the standard X-Plane scenery. I have to say, this almost looks like I'm using a plugin, but this is complete the base game. There's no add-ons for this. This is the sort of thing you would get with Auto Ortho, I think it is, or Ortho 4XP. It's the same kind of detail. Anyway, we're climbing a little bit too steeply. Let's get back on course. So we're going to go on a course there, I think 251, isn't it, to Cancun. We're getting up to 5,000 feet. We're going to set the pressurization. I want to set the autopilot on first, so autopilot master is on. Let's go ahead and select altitude and heading mode. Okay, pressurization. We're going to set 10,000 on the altitude. Full decrease. 10,900. It's quite high up on the pressure. And we'll just climb a little bit quicker than 500 feet. We want to match our rate of climb here, so we're climbing 2,500. Let's reduce that. And we'll climb about 1,000 feet a minute in the cabin. Welcome back in, Jelmore. Good to see you again. How much is this add-on? I did talk about it in my review. If you go back and watch that, you can find out the price of it. I went through it and spent a good couple of hours going through the plane and the cost and things, and what works and what doesn't. We didn't have fuel pumps on for takeoff. To be fair, we probably do need them because we're we're on the warmer temperature side now today. Let's get the cabin fan heats on and the pitot heats on. I won't bother with prop de-ice. I don't think we're expecting any icing conditions even at cruise level. But as you can see there, speed is always building up in this plane, and manifold again, just keep that in the green zone on the climb. Right, we are in a position now to lean our temperatures a little bit, lean our mixtures a little bit, not the temperatures. So we can go 1650 max. Again, we're reducing them, and it seems to be... Is it decreasing the fuel flow this time? It does actually seem to be decreasing it this time, so again, there's bugs in there with that mixture thing. 1650 max on the temperatures. The temperature is there for the EGT, and we'll want about 30 gallons an hour when we're in the cruise. We're already at 11,000 feet. Climbing like an absolute rocket. Pressurization is coming up. Differential in this will tend to climb a lot quicker than it should do, I think. In real life, it wouldn't climb. I mean, obviously, it's climbing at the rate the aircraft is, but I've seen real videos of it, and it still doesn't. The differential won't be climbing to the maximum zone as quickly as it does on this one. Let's put it that way. So we've got everything here. Trim is good. Flaps are up. Landing lights are off. Right, let's keep an eye out here for the DME and the VOR. We're not picking anything up at the moment. We are on course of 251, and we should be on course of 251. I suspect we'll pick it up when we're within 100 miles. Either way, we continue on forward. We're still in Havana airspace. Way down the west coast there. What we're going to do now, standard pressure 29902. Go on, let's have a flyby, everyone. Hour 30 so far. I think the time has been very good, considering we got 300 nautical miles to go. It's not that far. The first trip was very quick, the second one a little bit further, but this plane, if you compare to Baron, The hour and a half is nothing. I think the barrier would probably take at least 2 or 3 hours to get to this point alone. It certainly feels like it, at least. You do have this thing here for the topography and the terrain, but to be fair, I don't use this. This is it is useful for the wind direction, I guess, but in terms of anything else, it doesn't really show you very clear images, so it's very hard to see what you're actually looking at. If you want the wind direction, though, it is on there if you need to know where that is. So we've got 24 knots coming in from the right hand side. We do have a weather radar down here. This is a very, very old one, so it's very, very quick to turn on. It's just test mode, you know, weather TCAS and weather TCAS mode. We'll keep it on TCAS, I guess, so keep an eye on traffic. Let's reduce our ascent here to about 2,000 feet a minute. We'll try to at least, it just wants to continue to speed up and climb. You'll see when this thing comes alive, the speed will most likely be well above what it's supposed to be, so you're probably going to get like over 300 in it. Absolutely insane, which is not realistic, of course. On the indicated, you will want to stay within the indicated range. I guess that's another way of judging your speed, isn't it? You can use the inside scale here for airspeed, so we were supposed to be cruising at 256. We'll wait and see if we get that on there, but that's apparently still only about 220 knots, but up here, for some reason it'll say 300 or something. 5,000 feet to go. Pressurization is good. It's climbing at a little bit more than it should be, about 1,000, 1,500 feet almost. Let's crank it up. Then we'll get up to 10,900 maximum. To be fair, you are better off using the X-Plane map if you want to see the traffic and the winds and things like that. It's a little bit more accurate. So I guess we have got a headwind here. 226 is what's coming up there is true. Check the weather radar, the radar at the moment, and see if there's anybody on Cancun. I don't think there will be. We're in the sort of unpopular part of the world right now. There's kind of a lot of traffic in Miami as expected. We just departed from Havana. We are showing up on the map. Our aircraft, if you wonder what the aircraft code is for the 601P, the only one I could find is AEST, so Alpha Echo Sierra Tango is the sort of code for the aircraft if you want to fly on the network and things like that. AEST, and then you should have the option for 601P as you log into the account. Okay, there's about 25,000. We didn't slow our ascent down at the end there. Let's get ready to press altitude. So altitude mode hold. We're going to reduce the propellers nice and early. It's about 2100 RPM again. Nice and slowly. Okay, mixtures, let's see how it goes. We are getting into the temperatures danger zone. So we have to push them forward in order to get the 30 gallons we need, which is just absolutely bizarre. I cannot wrap my head around the programming on this thing. About 15 gallons is what we've calculated on the fuel burn. A little bit more than that, but then again we did take a little bit extra as well, so we should be fine. If we look at the actual fuel flow, so we got 20 gallons in the wings still, we still got 40 gallons in the middle, for goodness sake, so we've got loads on board, you know. plenty on there. The first leg itself burned about 20 gallons. It's nothing at all if you consider how much this plane goes in things. As you can see up there, we've got 1 hour 45 minutes remaining. This thing here, the DME, will give us our minutes. I suspect it'll be less than an hour, probably 40 minutes. Okay, we'll leave the manifold where it is. The range is in the green. We could try and bring it back a little bit to 2500 and see how that causes the cabin pressure to react. That's also helped our fuel burn a little bit. If any of you are huge twin piston fans like I am, I did say I was going to do the review either today or on Thursday, so it looks like Thursday today for the Piper Seneca. I do have a lot of notes on that aircraft that I have to finish off. I've wrote so much about it, it's unbelievable. I've got pages and pages of notes because I want to give them developers a fair review. So if you are looking forward to that and you do like my sort of in-depth reviews, that's coming on Thursday. Also, big thank you to everybody for just the support, because I came back into the new year and I did a stream on the King Air 350 by Air 4 Labs. That stream has hit 1,000 views, which is great. The first one I did has actually hit 1,000. I was so glad that I got there with that one, and I'm so glad that people enjoyed it. So it seems like obviously people do enjoy my reviews to some extent. We're so glad to reach 1,000. Now we've reached 300 on the subs as well. So just reaching those milestones. The actual goal for the channel this year, as I say, was a bit more exploration in the North and South Americas and in the Caribbean. And I want to go down to New Zealand as well. And we will do more in the UK as planned. The actual channel, I want to get it to about 1,000 subs minimum. And then that's it. Basically, that's the only goal for the channel. The actual flying goals are extensive. In terms of America, I still want to fly around the west coast, so the idea was to fly from Alaska all the way down, literally all the way down to the south of Mexico. Same thing in the United Kingdom. I would like to do the same thing there, from the north to the south, possibly in the Piper Seneca, we'll see how it goes. The new training series on the Seneca will be coming soon too. That will be on a Thursday, and it will be based on training in an airfield, probably be from Oxford or Cranfield Airfield in England. We're doing some twin piston training. I'll break it down in the lessons on the live stream, but yeah, generally the plans are laid out for the next few months. Okay, there's the waypoint. I decided to put in the GPS just to cheat a little bit. It is giving us about 40 minutes, as I say. It's a very, very short trip in this plane. If it was the Baron, it'd take a couple of hours to get between both legs. Plenty of cigars on board, plenty of foreign aid in there, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to cheat. Yeah, we're going to cheat. We're going to use a pink line as well, just because the DME is not coming alive. It is possible that the frequency on X-Plane is different than the frequency we've got off the Skyvectors. So we've always got to take that into account. Pressurization is perfect. A little bit over what we wanted. A little bit over 11. We're in general pretty good. See if we got charts available. (3021) QNH at least is in a form I can read on this flight. We've 0 knot, 0 wind. How peculiar. Fewer 2,500 feet, 24 and 16. So it may be a runway 24 again. Possibly. Unless that's the temperature. I think that's probably the temperature, isn't it? 24, dew point, and then dew point 16. Yeah, no charts. I think it's just the area. We're too far from civilization to get the actual airport runway things. I'll look on Skyvectors and see what comes up. There's a few runways there. Cancún International, it is a big major airport. Cancún 1136, tuned into that. 12 right, 30 left, or 12 left, 30 right. Judging, I don't think there'll be any traffic, so I think we're probably alright to go straight in for a 30. We'll be able to do that from this direction, straight in for a 30. I'll go for a 30 right, just because it's a little bit shorter. We don't need the longer runway. 30 left is 3,500 times 60 meters. The right one is 2,800 times 45. So all this is on Skyvectors. It's free to use. It gives you all the information on the runways and things and ILS frequencies if they're available. Airport use open to the public, so that's good. Weather conditions, I'm going to check. I know you guys can't see it, just need to take my word for it. Since something called windy, it's really, really useful actually. I saw another gentleman using it on YouTube. It's really handy. We're getting pretty accurate weather. So Cancun, we're not quite in South America, we're just sort of on the border. We're on Mexico's southern tip. Mexico's sort of inner southern tip, and then south of that is Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, all those places. So I was originally planning to go to Panama City, but that is absolutely hundreds of miles away. We will do that though. We'll go down Panama and probably go Port-au-Prince in Haiti at some point. Cancun 24. Celsius. Wind is pushing in that general direction. So according to the wind map, it's giving us a tailwind, but on here there's more of a headwind. So this is again just something that we picked up last time, is that X-Plane is not actually as live weather as it thinks it is. Right, we're picking up the distance. So here's our real speed, as I say, is about 300. Up on here as well. I'm going to step away and get another drink, guys. I'll be back in 1 minute. I hope you're enjoying the flight. Okay, I'm back in the cockpit. Just noticed there's a VOR there. I think this one, is this one moving around? Let's tune in 1136. Tuned into the same thing. I guess it would be, so let's tune that to 24 on the heading. Yeah, so that one's come alive now. That'll give us our course. Making sure the props are in the right position there. If you're wondering what time I have on this plane, I've got 21.5 hours since I bought it. So quite good amount of time in it. Keep the shutters closed. I do wish they'd continue to update this aircraft, to be fair. Since I bought it, I realise they're probably not going to do it because the majority of devs, as I say in the review, will bring them over from X-Plane 11 and won't do much to get them functional in X-Plane 12, and then they'll just abandon them and consider their work to be done, which is to get money without really putting much effort into things, you know, and leave the consumer worse off. But I do like this aircraft. I do think there are very good qualities about it in many places. It's just there are also a lot of things that are bad about it. One of the things I would like to see, if they do want to update it, and it's very easy to continue up to update it, because you know, it's, yeah, it is what it is. It's a simple plane, isn't it? They could add some blinds. I think blinds would be good. There's a rail here. I would love to see them in this cabin, some blinds there. I would love to see a glare shield. There should be a glare shield. There were, sometimes there's a window in Aerostars, sometimes there isn't. It just depends what kind of make and model it is. I would love to have some sounds on these, because there's no sounds on the air conditioning. The Pioneer don't work at all. The lights work, but only very strange how they work. They sort of change. Modeling changes there. There's no fan or air conditioning noises. Not really much in the cockpit. There's no clock. So there are things here, just little things that they could do, which would make this a lot better. Just tiny things. Even if they didn't want to change the performance, or you know, fix the fact that the fuel thing's broken. There's still things they could do to make this a million times better. Okay, we have stabilised now on the VOR. We're going to turn that to a course and turn onto it. We'll use it on the backup as well, just in case we lose the first one. We're planning for a runway 30. 30 right, the shorter of the two. We probably do need to start descending soon. Just over this little stretch of water. Yeah, I think we should be descending at this point. The stretch of water is a lot shorter than I actually realised. It's given us. Just checking the airport information here. We've got one other aircraft there at the airport we're going to. This is great, isn't it? Fantastic. This is such a brilliant route to have flown as well from Key West. It's just the perfect run, it really is. There's no ATC control out here at all at the moment. It's one of those routes you could fly as low as you want and stay under the radar and probably no one would notice. Nowadays they would, but back when the 70s, back in the 70s and the 60s, 70s, they probably wouldn't have noticed it. We are going to start our descent, so we may as well get descended down. We're going to pre-select our altitude on here, so we'll go to 1,000 feet above ground level. We're going to slowly descend as we cross the water. So this is it now. This is the bridge between Havana, Cuba and Cancún in Mexico. Now we're about to enter that sort of airspace area. If you look at the map here, it is largely uncontrolled in this. Largely uncontrolled after this point. Are we descending down? Altitude hold. Let's reduce those props back a little bit. At 20 minutes at 1,500 feet a minute. Would take about 17 minutes to get down to 1,500 feet. We're going about 1,000 feet a minute on the descent rate. About 80 nautical miles. Okay, descent checklist. We have set the altitude. We are descending about 500 feet, which is perfect. Make sure the cabin seal thing is on. It's still on. Again, perfectly clear. We can probably already see it. I think I can already see it just over there, unless that's the sky. So hopefully don't encounter any UFOs out here. We'll get a QNH again. We'll get close to the airport. We can already see it here. This is what I'm talking about, very short trip. 3020. I said it early because we, going to be descending pretty quick. Let's increase our descent rate a little bit more. We want about 1500 feet a minute. About 1500 feet a minute. Again, it takes 17 minutes from 25,000 feet. Trying to find a song, everybody, that I had. I think this is it. I used to do my streams with this song, and this would be the intro for it. And it always reminded me of Mexico, or at least Cuba or something like that in the middle of America. The song is great. I used to use it as the intro of mine when I first started streaming, and that was only last year. So the channel has grown quite a lot over the year. This is a song, right? It's 3.5 minutes. It just feels so perfect for this flight. I have to play it. thank you for listening, everybody. I had to play it. I had to play that song. It is a great song. It's free off YouTube to use if you want to use that yourself or anything. It's just a nice, pleasant atmosphere. It reminds me of Mexico. It reminds me of, actually, just remind me of Cuba, even though I've never been. Just has that kind of feel to it. Very, very classic, very, very stylish guitar playing right there. Anyway, we are going to slow our descent rate now to 2,000 feet per minute. We're going to increase our speed again, or at least maintain our speed for now, and just slowly descend down. Cabin is depressurizing, could probably slow that down a little bit too. But yeah, it just fits the mood so well. The next Caribbean flight will be next week. I did want to set a date. I said Mondays for Caribbean flights, then I said Fridays, and then I just realized I'll do them whenever I can be bothered. The next flight will probably be from Cancún International, and we're going to fly down into South America, as I say. Probably I did want to go Haiti, but we're going to leave Haiti for now because it's a bit far from Cancun. We are going to continue down to South America and hopefully get to Panama. Now, Panama is possible, but it will be a very, very long flight. It might require a few stops on the way as well. If you are looking to join me, then the best way to do so is to just hop on the online network and you'll be able to fly along with me. This is not Grantham Corporate today, this is just standard pilot and contracts. There's no Grantham Corporate associated with the Caribbean Ops at the moment. This is my my personal income, which I make a living off in the sort of side on the side that is not tied into my company. It's absolutely brilliant. Free money everywhere. Okay, 26, around 20 minutes to go, and 93 nautical miles. That is actually quite accurate. Yeah, very accurate on the map. Go ahead and hold at 13,000 feet for now. We don't need to descend anymore. Okay, gallons are going up. Let's decrease them again. Maybe we need to increase the manifold. Very hard to function this mixture of control thing. About 40 gallons per hour. Fuel wise, we're almost at the end of our tanks. We're barely going to need anything if we're going to start draining the fuselage. And it's going to be interesting to see how much fuel we got left. So the actual trip fuel was 60 gallons per hour. Then we had all the reserves and things on top, with a total of about 82.5. So we're going to check how much we've got left when we get back and just see whether or not the calculations were fair. I think they were fair. We put enough reserves in for VFR flight, not IFR, as some people might think. We're losing the pink line, that's fine. We're not too concerned about the pink line. We can try and do procedures here, so we want 30 right. We have an RF GPS, that'll probably just be a straight in. We don't have charts, so let's do vectors. If we are going to do the RNAV, which is what's been preloaded, it's just going to do the same thing we're flying now, which is probably flying to the VOR and then turning on to final. We don't need this, guys. We don't need these fancy approaches. We're all visual today. We could even get rid of the pink line. I know people are afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to get rid of this pink line. I know exactly where we are and I know exactly where we're heading. Why? Because I've learned how to fly via VOR, and that is more important than using the GPS. I say the GPS is modern. Not every aircraft has them. People get used to the Garmin 1000 and the Garmin 530 and they think they can fly a plane and navigate, but the reality is when they turn them off they have no idea where they are because they don't know how to use their instruments. And that is key, guys. That is key to being a good pilot. You know, you have to be able to understand where you are in relation to the airport and in relation to VORs using these things. Let's go down now. We're going to go down below, let's say 9,000 feet. Let's go down to 8,000 feet. I think we could start ascending now to decision, not decision, to approach height. So we'll just have to assume we know that what the charts say. Usually it's about 2,000 for the approach. We're going to use this for the altitude of the airport, although we could use this. So 20 feet elevation, 2,000 feet above ground level is fine for the approach. And we'll reverse on. Popping up on there, the CUN. Radial 073, very useful, 64. So this is accurate to each other's information. It's appearing on number 2 as well. Airspace near and ahead. So if we check on here, it can actually see the airspace boundaries, these little green lines. We'll show you where the airspace is. There's our airport, so we do need to get a little bit more set up here for the approach. So we're going to start turning out now. Probably about there, and then that will give us a angle on 30. So when we're lined up, 30 will be able to turn to that. I don't think there's an ILS for that. 30. No, there isn't. I was going to say if there is, we could use that on nav to give us guidance. So we're going to use nav 2 now to follow the VOR. I'm going to turn this heading and the course here to 30, so we can keep a reference on the airport direction. I am just looking for the Aerostar training materials by the Aerostar Owners Association. I'm just going to check something on the speed for the landing. Performance and flight profiles. 601P. So we're going to look at the ground roll, or try and find the ground roll or the ground landing distance, if it's available. So landing distance in the 601P, landing ground roll with flaps 45 degrees. And I've actually found it already. That was fairly simple. I can't see it because it's all flipped on its side. This might be useful if you'd like to see it as well, so I can sort of bring that up for you if I can do. Right, I think this should work. So you should be able to see it. This is the Owners Association manual. I can't remember how to flip this. Either way, there it is. Of course, it's right next to me. So this is the ground roll here with flaps up. We want the flaps 45, and it's a little bit difficult to see it. So temperatures between 20 and 30. So we go up from 20 and 30, and then across. No, we don't need much. It looks like between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. I hope I'm reading that correctly. 1,000, maybe around 1,200 feet for the ground roll. Okay, that's fair enough. That means we've got enough room to land. The approach speeds are 90, 87, and then 85. We have been going a little bit fast because it does have a tendency to sink, this model. Well, we'll keep that in mind on the approach speed. 90 knots then as the final. Maybe it's the final touchdown speed rather than the approach speed. Otherwise, we're going to need quite a high angle of attack. I think this is correct. I'm reading this correctly. It's about 1,200 feet on the distance. Brilliant. Really useful material there. Free to get online. Aerostar Owners Association. If you are flying the Aerostar of any variation, because it includes all the performance charts for most models from the 601P to the 700 Superstar. Anyways, 8,000 feet. How are we doing on this course? We've got about 10 minutes till we're there. Let's go ahead and level off. And then we'll descend down, as I say, to 2,000 when we get a little bit closer. And we should be following heading mode. Just want to keep those mixtures leaned a little bit more. It is working now when I reduce them. Let's try and hit 15 in each. No, one other traffic there departing from the same airport. I think you do depart from 30 left. You know what? Let's just continue down to 2,000. I'm going to put the props to about 2,300 now. I'll leave it at that, probably all the way down to the ground. A few airports in the area. We've got MMIM. Quite a few. MMUN, it says different thing over there. So there's a smaller one just there, hidden away off of the radar. I wonder what that one is. It's sort of hidden off. Well, maybe we'd be better off going to this one. This is more of a GA aircraft airport, isn't it? And it's can't see the length of it, but it does look as similar, like quite a good length for landing. It's at 0 feet. So that's a good place to go as well. Isla Mujeres. I hope we're pronouncing that right. That would have been a good option too. Maybe see some dinosaurs there. Right, I'm going to set my landing lights on early. We're within 30 nautical miles, but that'll go quickly, guys, in the Aerostar. Again, just quickly adjusting the VOR here so we keep track of it, keep track of the airport. Cancún traffic, November 164 Hotel, 13 miles out, expecting the visual approach runway 30 right. That's actually probably correct. The other guy took off from 30 left. We'll assume they got dual runway ops. I can see Mexico, everybody. Keep your eyes out for the airport. You can also cheat a little bit. I am really tempted to go to that little airport instead. I'm really tempted. That can be our alternate. Pressurization, we should be depressurized by this point. Yes, we are. We're about 1,000 feet there on the cabin altitude. We do need to put that to 0 here. We probably did on the other one because it was also 0 feet. And you'll see here just how quickly the cabin actually dumps it. If we click on dump now, I think that will literally dump the pressure out, so it will, increases it in this case. I can't see it anymore, blimey. Right, normal mode then. That should usually only happen when we're high up. If we're lower down and if we're near ground level, when we dump the pressure, it shouldn't increase like that. Then again, the differential is still there. Okay, 2,800 feet. 4 minutes to go. About to level off at 2,000 for the visual. Again, just keeping my eye out. It'd be really handy to have a pair of binoculars. I think that's the airport straight ahead. Yeah, nice pair of binoculars. Keep your eye on where you are. Thousand feet. Let's just bring up the chat list just to make sure we don't forget anything. So seatbelts are fastened. We will put the fuel pumps on when we're within probably 10 nautical miles. Mixtures, let's go ahead and enrichen them, and we'll put the props a little bit more forward. Not quite fully forward. Again, the landing speed, according to the owner's manual thing, it's about 90 on this. So we keep that in mind on the speed as well. Radio altimeter. I don't think it's not on the chat list, is it? Radio altimeter before London. No, I can't see anything there about it, but you can set it on here, and we're going to set maybe 200 feet. Again, just more important if it was IFR conditions, you can use it. But then again, we're going into IFR, knowing my luck, of course we are. Of course. I'm going to use the GPS now a little bit more, just to make sure we're going to get established 3-0. We're still using this for the VOR. The VOR is not always going to be where the runway is. In this case, we can see on the map it is in that area, those little, I don't know what shape that is, maybe a triangle. That is the VOR, so it's kind of fairly near where we need to go, but also we still have to keep our visual out. Pray to God these clouds clear up. Bring our speed down a bit. It's saying it's just off to our right side according to the X-Plane 12 map, but I'll be honest, it looks a lot further on here. Maybe it's the GPS that's incorrect. We'll fly in this direction, we'll see if we can see it. If we can't, we'll obviously do the go around. See how it goes. Maybe better off using this map. We'll slow down a bit more. We're going to get a notch of flaps soon. Okay, I can see the runway. Brilliant. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take control now. Disengage the autopilot master, and I'm going to fly it onto the runway. Similar thing that we did at Havana Airport. I'm going to transition now from 2,000 feet into the approach mode. Really reducing that power. Let's get more stabilized here. Runway 30. We can descend a bit more as well. We're within 2.6 miles. Very, very close. Let's get the gear down first. Okay, we're really high up. Alright, I will go around then, gear back up. We're just going to circle back now for runway 30, right. Cancún traffic, November 164 Hotel, missed approach 30 right, go around. We're not going to go all the way to the end of the runway to go around, we're just going to do a U-turn here. It has considerably worsened in the conditions, so the main thing today was obviously the weather. That was the main concern. And unfortunately it's come true, our fears have been realised. The Dark Lord has returned. We'll maintain about 1,300 feet. We don't need to go back up to 2,000. Let's get a notch of flaps. This isn't a proper go around. This is me doing my own kind of go around. So you keep a bit more distance here from the runway and from the approach, and probably fly outwards a little bit more than I have done. I am not exactly heading into oncoming traffic, but I'm also very, very dangerously close to the approach. Anyway, let's go around to the runway and let's see if we can nail this. Keep reducing that speed a little bit. We probably don't need the DME at this point. Props full forward, or as far forward as they go before they sound the alarm. There it is, just a little bit. That was terrible, that was a terrible one. Good thing there's no other traffic, isn't it? Let's reduce our speed a lot. Cancún traffic November 164 Hotel is short final 30 right. So an unofficial circle there. If we'd done that a little bit further back, it may have been a better approach. I'm going to slow down now, descend rapidly to 90 knots. Minimal speed required at this point, or minimal power. Still need to keep it in there. 30 degrees, gear down, landing lights on. If we do need to go around everybody, we'll be straight back up to 2000 on this one. Full flaps. Yeah, not as good as an approach there as it was at Havana. Havana was much better. Let's salvage it with a decent landing. So we're actually maintaining 90 knots very well.
Terrain.
That's fine, everybody.
Terrain.
That's a realistic feature.
Terrain.
The real Aerostar has that. So here we come, 30 right. We're just going to be cautious here, the wind pushing us around. Slightly turbulent. 90 knots. Oh, smooth touchdown. And we'll go and roll down as far down the runway as we can. Brilliant, welcome to Cancun, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that semi-decent landing. Decent landing, but not the best approach in the world. Didn't have the fuel pumps on either, so just a few pilot errors there despite checking the chat list beforehand. We'll get the landing lights off, we'll get the flaps up while we're taxiing down the runway. Save a little bit of time. Beautiful bird, beautiful. Parking wise, don't think we've got charts available, so we're just going to stick this bird wherever we can, and we'll pay the parking fees and landing fees. You know what aviation's like, there's a fee for everything. Rover radar can come off, the door seal can come off, we're already depressurized. Let's get the transponder back to mode Charlie. Backtrack runway alpha, taxiway alpha. There is another aircraft here at the airport. Yes, so that's pretty bad if we go around. Not the worst. That is not the worst thing I've done in the world. That would be better off done further back, maybe up here. If we're doing it that close to the airport, there's too many risks involved there. Although then again, that is something that planes do have to do sometimes. I know that sounds so stupid, but it is so true as well. They have to do this before they land because there might be other traffic on the runway, there might be just something else. Maybe if we'd extended back here and then come back onto final from this point, that would have been better. This turn here though is not great. This is too close to the runway, too close to the approach. So we should have extended that back a little bit more. Either way, there's the VORs which we followed. There's another aircraft here. We probably could have taxied all the way down there to Hotel 2, couldn't we? Yeah, probably would have been better. We'll continue down Alpha and then we'll park. GA stand. This is better for us. My mistake. So Alpha and then Delta to GA stand. Delta 4. wherever there's a space available. Temperature, is it accurate to what it said? It is pretty accurate. It's about 24-25 degrees. Those luscious trees here are looking very, very good. Just down there, that crack in the woodlands. I am surprised there's this many trees at the airport. To be fair, it's quite dense forest here. So I guess there was a 50. I guess there was some obstacles before landing, which we could have taken into account. The 90 knots, again, a little bit surprised we could maintain that. But we did maintain it, and then the landing was actually pretty smooth. So and we'll have to remember from now on that this plane is in fact capable of doing the approach speeds as it's been said in the manual. Right, we don't want the right hand side. That's all the big planes. A lot of Boeings here, a lot of jumbos here today. A lot of 777s, absolutely magnificent. We've got a few new airlines I'm not familiar with. I think that's Aer Lingus. Blimey, that's the Irish airline. What are they doing out here? That's so far for them to come. Anyway, over on the left hand side we've got Delta, we've got all these smaller planes. There's our family there welcoming us into Cancun. If you've enjoyed this flight, everybody, this will not be the end of the Caribbean Ops or the operations or the Caribbean Queen adventure. It will continue. Probably in the Aerostar. This is the most suitable aircraft for it. Plus, it's the aircraft that I have based in America, so it's easy to fly it out here. Brilliant. What a welcome. Let's just go first base we can find. Parking brake released. Let the cylinder head temperatures cool down. We should get the cabin pitot heat things off as well. I don't know what that is. I think that might be wing lights in the real plane, but it's not in use in this one. Cabin lights can come off. The dead drop. Now we do a dead drop on the shutdown. Let's do the shutdown checklist. Ground idle. So grounding check on the magnetos. This is interesting. So as you can see there, drop in the RPM. If we do the grounded check and there's no drop in the RPM, there's obviously an issue there with the engines, and that would need to be checked by whoever's available for you. In this case, in this airport, we'd have to outsource the work and probably have to pay a lot of money. Door seal is inflated. The rear altimeter is to 0. We could turn these off now and put that maybe to dump and off, and then turn them off if you wanted, and that would be fine. Radios off. We'll turn the transponder off. I'm going to squawk 7,000 here just when I actually no, it's 1200 because I'm based in the United States in this plane, so we'll squawk 1200 and we'll leave it at that on for the next flight. Mixture controls fully cut off. Left and right magnetos off position. Fuel selectors coming off, so we probably want to turn the lights off as well at this point. Alternators and batteries. Awesome. Ah, my head. Jeez. What's happened? What has happened? Ah, right, route. Oh, moment of truth. Let's chalk up. Let's cone up. Let's check the weight and balance. So, we burned all our wing fuel. minus 0.1. I don't know how that's still in there. Let's get rid of that. 32 gallons left in the back. So actually, we took 30 gallons of reserve fuel. Wait, no, we didn't. We took 15 gallons of reserve fuel, but we still have 30 gallons left. So we didn't burn that much after all. We only burned about 50 gallons. Which means we were more fuel efficient than we expected to be, despite the fuel. You know, the fuel consumption was more than it was meant to be in the cockpit, but it actually turned out less overall, and that's probably because we had good conditions in the weather, probably because we were flying very fast in the first place. So yeah, we've been more efficient fuel-wise, which is great. And this is how I'm learning the aircraft, because there's no performance charts with it, so I'm just sort of basing it on flights I've done. So now I know that that entire distance can be done in about 50 gallons. Which is perfect. But that will obviously still require extra in the future. Let's get rid of our weight and balance here. Let's empty out the cargo with all those Cuban cigars, and we'll watch the replay. I really appreciate everyone being here. This has actually been really another great flight in the Aerostar from Miami down to Cancun, and we will do another one next time. I want to go to Panama from Cancun. It will be a long one, but we'll do a stopover on the way. So spasibo большое for being here. Thank you very much. Stick around for the replay, and I will see you on Wednesday for... I think Grantham has been rented out again to Gamma Aviation in Scotland. So I'll be flying in the King Air C90B, and we'll be doing some medical ops all the way down to Barrow Beach. Pray to God we're going to have a nice shore and nice weather on that day. Anyway guys, stick around for the replay. I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.